Right, I like to say Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahweh Shah, Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahweh Shah, Bahashim, Rakaha, Kwadash, double uns, the apostles and elders of GMS, and salutations to you brothers out there that's doing this word in truth and in sincerity. This is the book of Galatians, chapter 5, verse 1. Stand fast, therefore, in the liberty wherewith Mashiach hath made us free, and not entangled again with the yoke of bondage. It says, Behold, I, Paul, say unto you, that if ye be circumcised, a Mashiach shall profit you nothing. For I testify again to every man that is circumcised, that he is a debtor to do the whole law. A Mashiach is become of no effect unto you. Whosoever of you are justified by the law, ye are fallen from grace. For we through the Spirit wait for the hope of righteousness by faith. Right, and that's why going into the book of Judges 5 and 11, the scripture says, rehearse the righteous acts, because this is a thing of having faith in Yahushua, right? Because by keeping the law, you're not going to be delivered, and you have those that believe by keeping the law and only keeping the law, you're going to be delivered. And I say, they're two on one coin. You have to believe and have faith in Yahushua, right? But you also have to rehearse the righteous acts as well. They're two on one coin. So it's not just about keeping the law, it's also about having faith. It's not just about having faith, but it's also about keeping the law, right? So you have to do both, man. You have to do both. When Yahushua was on the scene 2,000 plus years ago, every time he walked upon an Israelite, right, he healed them, right, or he stopped them from getting put to death. He always told them to do what? Sin no more, right? Well, sin is the transgression of the law. So he told them what? Not to break the law, right? So it says, a Mashiach is become of no effect unto you. Whosoever of you are justified by the law, ye are fallen from grace. For we through the Spirit wait for the hope of righteousness by faith. For in Yahushua Mashiach, neither circumcision availeth anything, nor uncircumcision, but faith which worketh by love. Right? And love is the keeping of the law. The scripture says, he that loved me will keep my commandments. That's in the book of 1 John 5 and 3, 2 John 1 and 5, right? And in the book of Romans, John 14 and 15, right? He that loved me will keep my commandments. So Galatians 5 and 7, it says, ye did run well. Who did hinder you that ye should not obey the faith? Right? It says this, this persuasion cometh not of him that calleth you. A little leaven leaveneth the whole lump. I have confidence in you through the Lord, that ye will be none otherwise minded. But he that troubleth you shall bear his judgment, whosoever he be. And I, brethren, if I yet preach circumcision, why do I yet suffer prosecution? Then is the offense of the cross ceased. I would they were even cut off which trouble you. For brethren, ye have been called unto liberty, but only Salaki. For brethren, ye have been called unto liberty, only use not liberty for the occasion to the flesh, but by love serve one another. So there you go. There you go. So Paul never told you not to keep the law. Paul didn't tell you not to keep the law. Paul told you to keep the law, man. Right? So this is about keeping the law, and this is about believing in Yahushua. And if you just believe in Yahushua but not keep the law, you're gonna still be judged. Right? If you believe in the law but not believe in Yahushua, you're gonna be judged. You gotta believe in both. And you gotta do both and walk in this thing. And the scriptures tell you, I think that's in 1 Corinthians 9 and 14. The scripture says, if you preach his word, also walk in it. Right? So it says, Salaki, bear with me for a second. Right, Galatians 5 and 14. For all the law is fulfilled in one word, even in this, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. And that's not talking about all the nations, man. That's talking about of our own people. Paul sent this letter out unto Israelites. So this is talking about loving our own people. And there's steps in doing that. And it's all written in the scriptures. So it says, but if ye bite and devour one another, take heed that ye be not consumed one another. This I say then, walk in the spirit, and ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. Right? So walk in the spirit is walking in his word, man. You're not going to fulfill the lust of the flesh. You know, this is why it's important to always stay in the scriptures, because it's basic things that you can it's basic things that you tend to forget about. Basic things, right? So by remembering what it means to walk in the spirit, then you shall be found blameless. But if you're not walking in the spirit, then you're not going to be found, then you will be found blameless. You will be found to be blamed, Salakia. You will be found to be blamed. So there's going to be offenses. There's going to be offenses if you're not walking in the spirit. For the flesh lutteth against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh, and these are contrary the one to another, so that ye cannot do the things that ye would. But if ye be led in the spirit, ye are not under the law. Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lasciviousness, idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, variance, emulation, wrath, strife, sedition, heresy, envying, murders, drunkenness, reviling, and such like, of the which I tell you before, as I have also told you in the time past, that they which do such things shall not enter into the kingdom of the Most High. Right? So it says, but the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, and faith. This is basic things you could forget about, being in the truth. Even as you are in a position, right, to be a leader or whatever, these are basic things you can forget if you're not going into them, if you're not reading them, if you're not praying for the Most High to not put that kind of spirit upon you. These are basic things that you can tend to forget, and you can act them out believing that you're doing things wrong. Remember, your mind is very deceptive, man. That's the thing about the mind, is when the mind becomes very deceptive, the mind can have you believe that you're doing things right, man. Not knowing that you could be going the hell off. So this is why Paul said, walk ye in the spirit, so ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. Because you quick to fulfill the lust of the flesh. Why is that? Because we're in the flesh. We're in the flesh, man. I always say that, man. You've been in the world longer than you have been in the truth. So it's easier for you to go back in the world than it is for you to stay in the truth. I always say that, bro. This is something that I always say. Let me repeat that. You've been in the world longer than you've been in the truth. So it's easier for you to fall back into the world than it is for you staying in the truth. And it is. Because, let me explain this. When you are in the truth, there's things now that you have to do in order to stay on the right path. Right? But when you go back in the world, what is there to worry about? What is there to do? What's keeping you walking in a straight path in or discipline? Nothing. Because nobody's telling you nothing. Nobody's giving you directives. Besides, if you run a damn red light, or you doing something that's breaking the laws of of this world, the only thing that's going to give you directive is police officers. But to walk in the spirit, to walk in righteousness, what's giving you that directive? Nothing. Right? So when you're in a world and you fulfilling the things of the flesh, there's nothing for you to worry about. There's nothing for you to teach you discipline. When you're in the truth, it's a different story. Especially when you are among others. When you are among others, there's other men. Well, there's supposed to be other men that's also teaching you how to walk in the spirit, showing you how to walk in the spirit, giving you examples of what you should do. Right? So now you are becoming disciplined. But if that's not happening, then what's going to happen is that you could be in this thing, but you might not be walking in righteousness. You might not be walking to be blameless. You might not be walking that way. But it's up to other men that's in this thing to tell you not. So you could be corrected. Remember, the scripture says we have to serve one another. We got to serve one another. So you got to be able to tell the other man his fault. You got to be able to tell that man how to walk in a corrective way. Remember, this is a thing of learning all over again. We're learning all over again, man. So we're learning how to be a family again. We're learning how to keep the law. We're learning how to keep faith. This all of this is all a learning process. You got to learn how to be a damn brother again, man. You got to learn how to be a brother. Because the way a brother in the world compared to a brother in the truth is different. It's not the same thing. For an example, you can have a brother in the world and y'all might not talk for a heavily long time. Months go by, damn near even a year. Brother in the truth, you got to keep in communication with, because he's there to build you up. You're there to build him up. as in a sense of motivation. So there was a video that I sent, beautiful video of a guy working out, and he was lifting some heavy weight, and that's what we're doing. And it's truth is we're lifting heavy weight, man. Every single brother in this truth is lifting heavy weight. And the longer you in this thing, the easier it can become to lift that weight. But then, remember, you put more plates. If the Lord put more plates on that weight, it becomes even heavier now. Now you got to deal with trying to pick that plate up. Sometimes it gets to a point within this thing that you might not be able to pick it up. So what? When there's another man there, now he could give you the motivation to pick that weight up. Now you got the motivation to pick the weight up. So being in this truth it's not about tearing each other down, man. It's not about tearing each other down. It's not about pointing fingers and all that bullshit. It's about building each other up, man. Bettering each other. That's what it's about, man. It's not about tripping each other. The brother running and you trip him and shit. Or you found a fault in that brother and now you want to use that fault as a way to break him down. That's not what this thing's about, man. This thing is about building each other, not abandoning each other. That's not what this is about. It's not about abandoning each other. It's about building each other up, man. Walking in the spirit so you do not fulfill the lust of the flesh. I remember a brother told me, he said, hey, we all we got. And that's right. We are all we got. The love between you and your brother in the world is different between the love that you will have for a brother in this truth. It's definitely supposed to be different. So you have to make sure that, going back into the book of Galatians, the 5th chapter, that this is what it's about. Not walking in the flesh, but walking in the spirit. Not just pointing fingers and tripping each other and breaking each other down, but building each other up. That's what we in this thing. That's why the scripture says what? Serve one another. The scripture didn't say break down one another, trip one another, hold something against one another. It says serve one another, man. We have to be able to serve each other in this thing. Because, like the brother said, we all we got. Other than that, what else do you have? But the things that's in the world, which doesn't benefit you whatsoever. Right? So this is why you always have to go back into the scriptures. Go back into the scriptures. Shit, this should be the only thing on your mind, man. Everything else that happened, whether you were at fault, whether you wasn't at fault, or however you want to put it, you got to cast all that shit off, man. And become a new man. Stop holding on to shit that's holding you back. Because you ain't gonna get nowhere with that, man. That's perfectly said. Stop holding on to shit that's holding you back. That shit's only holding you back. That shit's only getting you in a position to where you think everybody's fucking against you. Not knowing that you are only against yourself. That was something that a brother said years back, man. That used to be, with the brothers out there. He said years back, he said, hey, man, one thing I want to tell you, Ak, right? He was talking to two of us brothers, and he said, remember this, you are your own worst enemy, man. Hey, I will never forget he said that, man. He said, you are your own worst enemy, man. Why? Because the mind can trick you, bro. Psychology, if you go into psychology, man, psychology will tell you that the mind is a powerful thing. And the mind can make you believe what you're doing is right, and it's not, man. That's why the Lord wants you to stay in the scriptures. That's why he wants you, like according to what Paul said, to walk in the spirit and not fulfill the things of the flesh. Because again, and I'll repeat it, you've been in the world longer than you've been in this truth. So it's easier for you to go back into the world than it is for you to stay in this truth. This truth is a constant battle. You constantly fighting to walk in the spirit. Now, what I mean about a constant battle to be brotherly, a constant battle to walk in righteousness, a constant battle to believe. This is a constant battle, bro. Fight the good fight of faith. That's not in there for nothing, man. That's not in there for nothing. This is a constant fight. But being around brothers, when you are fighting and you're fighting to stay in this thing, the brothers are there to tell you, hey, Ak, man, this, that, and the third. Get it together. That's what that help is for. But you also have to have, you got to be open for that help. You can't always smack that help down when the help comes your way. Because if you constantly smacking it down, then you're going to put it in the minds of those men that's constantly trying to help you to say, damn, what to do next? What can I do next? Once a brother have that in his mind, now it's becoming difficult for him to help you because you're not letting him. Again, man, walk in the spirit so ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. It's easy to fulfill the things of the flesh, man, because you grew up fulfilling the lust of the flesh. So that comes normally to you. But not fulfilling the things of the flesh did not come normally to you. That is a way of discipline. That is a way of being retaught. That's why the Lord have a lot of brothers within this thing young. A lot of brothers is some brothers come into this thing at young ages. Some brothers come into this thing at the ages of being in their 20s, being in their 30s. Because you have to be taught all over. Like a child, you have to be taught all over. I forget that movie, man, where he told dude, he said, hey, man, get rid of everything that you have been taught. He said, and now you have to relearn all over again. This is a process of relearning, man. This is a process of relearning. It's like you and a brother walking in the desert and the brother is ready to give up. You have to be there to lend him that shoulder, man. To lend him that arm. Nah, man. Put your arm over my shoulder. Let's keep walking. Let's keep going. Don't give up. That's what a brother is there for, man. Not to be walking in the desert with you and he look back and say, nah, man, he too weak. I'm walking out. Hey, like that was Iron Man in the first movie. When Iron Man told Captain America, you know, if he was strapped to a rope to somebody else and the guy fell, Iron Man said he'll just cut the rope. Hey, Captain America looked at him like, you was selfish, self-centered mother, you know. But and then throughout the movie, you see Iron Man coming through, helping out. Second movie, third movie from the Avengers and all. There he is, risking his life because of the way he originally thought. was of the world. But the minute he got with a team, his whole mentality changed. Now it was about him sacrificing himself for the team. The dude had a whole different mentality. Hey, look how he tripped on Captain America when Captain America wasn't there. When he said that we would die together. We will fight together, we would die together. He was hurt when Captain America wasn't there. But remember, before he said he'll just cut the rope. But he was hurt when Captain America wasn't there. Because that's what building a team is. And you think they didn't go through their squabbles? They went through their squabbles, man. They went through their, I don't believe this right. I don't believe that is right phase. They went through that shit. You gonna go through that shit. That shit's gonna happen, man. It ain't about being mean. Correction don't always come nicely. It's definitely a way you could do it that don't have to come off, in a disrespectful way. But we are a team. We are a body. We are of the Lord, man. We are of the spirit of Yahweh Shai. So again, man, the scripture says what? Walk in the spirit so you should not fulfill the lust of the flesh. But I'm ending from there and say Barak to Yahweh, Barak to Yahweh Shai, Barak to Yahweh, Barak to Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakaha Kodash, the ones, the apostles and elders of GMS, and salutations to you brothers out there that's doing this work in truth and sincerity. I'd like to say shalom.